How much is it? All right. I'll use my credit card to pay. And make sure I get those used portal panty. I need the cream inside of the seat. I want to smell them up so good. Yes.
Welcome to Jamaica Dancehall Source News and Entertainment with a Buzz. The video snippet that you just saw is of a channel known as Jamaica Nature Cooking. That is run by a Rasta man and a foreign lady, white lady, that have 2 kids. They are pretty much living off the grid, meaning living off nature. They are cooking. However, surprisingly to myself and a lot of their fans, the people that watch them, which is many, because they have views in the millions, 1 million, 3 million, a whole heap of views. They decided to do a video on people I don't know if they are venturing off, diversifying their portfolio, so therefore not only are they doing nature cooking, they are now going to do music, and this was one of the music videos. Well, people, this music video is pretty much about people selling their underwears online, and you know it is a big thing, especially in Europe, where persons can order used panty with the scent and with whatever in the crotch of it. I guess that is the theme of the song. Now, people, in the comment section, when I look, a whole bunch of persons were bashing them, and it is because it was a diversion of the content. The fact that this lady is a white lady, and this man is a Rasta man, and they used to do cooking, and they used to show nature in a Jamaica. Like I said, the name of the channel, Jamaica Nature Cooking. This has a lot to do with Jamaica. However, not what we expect from a Rasta man, and not what we expect from cooking, unless, of course, you talk about eating under the table, based on the context of this video. So pretty much the Rasta man went and he ordered some drawers online, and he want to make sure say cream in the panty. You saw it at the start of this. Because of copyrights, I cannot show the whole video. So people, I want you to take a listen, take a look to a next small portion, a snippet of that music video, just for you to get what I am saying into context, and then I'll give my piece.
Selling my old thoughts, catch a sniff. Smell so sweet, you'll jump off a cliff. Na 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 na, sweet like honey.
So people, you saw the little white girl, white lady, sorry, not little white lady, because she looked like she about 30 or 40, whining, gyrating like the typical white person off rhythm. Them a dance like them deaf, just like we see them in the tourist era them when they are in the clubs. But what she's promoting is sex. What she's promoting is that she's making sure that she's manufacturing whatever substance that Rasta want for the drawers or in the drawers. So that is one part. This is the next part. If you notice, the bees in the panty, take a listen, take a look.
Sweet like honey, can't resist me. Sweet like honey, wild and free, 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 free.
Oh, my panty come. Oh, thank you, Portal, for this panty. Oh, bees are come out of the box. The only panty them come with bees. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
So people, you get the gist of where this video is going. You see that the sweet juice that she's selling to the Rasta man who ordered it, because he made sure he had specific requirements that make sure say all of the cream in the panty. So in the last section of the video that I can show or will show is when the Rasta actually received his order from Amazon, and he was so excited. He knew that the honeydew was going to be in there because he saw all sorts of bees flying out of the box.
Oh, bees are come out of the box. Yeah. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Now people, when we see a video like this and somebody needs to call Tulax, put this on the termite radar, because this is so appropriate for that. When we see this video and we look at our channel, we understand this is social media, and the most despicable act, that is what persons want. The law of supply and demand. The more them want, and the more them are going to get it. We see that this channel is a big channel. We see that this channel is getting views in the 1,000, 10, not 1,000, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and even millions. I don't know what was the frame of thought. I don't know what this Rastaman and this lady thought. Because first thing first, she cannot sing. Second thing, she can't dance. Third thing, the music actually sucks. They have a big channel, very interesting, based on the fact that they are getting the views, so people actually like them. However, when I read the comment section, we saw that a cross section or most majority, maybe 99.99% of their viewership, meaning their subscribers, was giving the man a bashing. They were giving him a bashing because they must say, him take this lady from wherever she's from, breed her up. Well, man and woman, them in a relationship, them can't have kids, so therefore I don't agree with this. But he's now exploiting her for the views. Not only are they doing the nature, they are doing the cooking, they are promoting Jamaica, now they are promoting sexual content in this video. So the moral of the story is this. Based on what the channel was built on, successful, it is the polar opposite what they are doing right now. So therefore, they are confusing their fans. I don't know if they've been watching social media, specifically TikTok, and they see that the most despicable are popping. However, when you have something that is successful, you do not change it. Once you have the method, once you have the formula, you stick with that formula, you ride it until the wheels fall off. However, when you divert, you're only going to disappoint, you're only going to confuse your fans. So take this as constructive criticism. And while I said this is a channel that I've watched before, not my favorite channel. However, this song, it sucks. This lady can dance, and this person, meaning a Rastaman, he is diverting from the culture, diverting for what Rasta stand for, diverting for what Jamaica is trying to promote. And last but not least, and this is not to disrespect the Rastaman, the rascal, and his girlfriend or wife and their family. But it seems as if it's either the Rasta and his wife smoke a ball of crack, get some sorts of spliff with lizard tail, seasoned spliff, and them smoke it and them start do a whole bunch of FUCKRY. My recommendation, constructive criticism, fix up your followays. It makes absolutely no sorts of sense. You're only going to lose your viewers. Point blank and period.
Yeah, today we there with
Baba Green.
Mr. Baba Green. Me I hear a rumor from what they say Prime Minister Andrew Wallace create the hurricane. You feel like Andrew make the hurricane?
If I did make it, my goal in the blue and the PNP head office. No. Swear. No.
You say I know you make it?
No. PNP with a blue away.
Yeah.
Yeah. My goal in the blue and the whole of them.
So the next thing that is popping in the news is based off the video that you just saw. Of this Rastaman that got a question and answer session, and he was asked, do you think that the rumors and propaganda that is circulating out there is true? That Andrew Holness and his friends actually created Hurricane Melissa Category 5 so that he can get his smart city, so that he can get rid of most of the people in St. Elizabeth, so that he can benefit financially by building his smart city. You heard what the Rastaman had to say, and the Rastaman is talking truths. Unless you are a conspiracy theorist, unless you've never done geography, unless you're kind of not too educated, then you would believe that Andrew Holness has the power, the money, and the ability to create nature or change nature totally, almost wipe out a whole country. What would he benefit other than the smart city? It makes absolutely no sorts of sense. That is not rational thinking. Well, people talking about not rational thinking. There's a DJ known as DJ Kentucky, Jamaican selector. This is exactly what he had to say when he's getting a whole bunch of bashing, a whole bunch of criticism, when he's putting out this conspiracy theory that Andrew Holness created this storm, this hurricane. Take a listen, take a look, and then I'll give my piece.
All right. But up on the road again, assist and help out people and do what we can do. But I have to stop in the middle, in the part of everything and talk about a little party. Straight up. So the individual will walk around and tell the people about high pressure build up over this and that and vaccine, hurricane. And bro God can't make the hurricane and blah blah and say don't comfort. Again, there's a lot of things bro God can't do, but he's doing it. He never have no money to call an election, but he have money to build a smart city. He never have the money to call election again, but guess what? He's assisting a whole heap of things like giving 15 communities in Jamaica free Wi-Fi and you don't own a satellite. There's a lot of things he might do and can't do and shouldn't do. He won an election after actually bringing down this whole lockdown and stupidity and stupidity. He was the most hated man on the planet of the earth and still won. By a mile. There's a lot of things he can't do. After election, he's supposed to address the country, doing supposed to do. He went to forums overseas speaking about what? Climate change, which is a sense of sensitization, awareness of what was to come. NBC, Fox, all of them come here with one thing on their mind. When the country mash up, not if. Food was sent from overseas by Amazon, Walmart, all of them, days before they even figured out how huge this tornado was going to be. And all of a sudden, everybody 600, 400, 340 from Israel, Canada, all over the place in the country. And if all of these individuals combined together was sent to St. Elizabeth fix in one day, no, they're not here to that. They're here to lay their fibernetic cables, do all of them stuff and start them XYZ. Now people watch this. If you say Andrew Wall is a stall, now issue generator, now fix now. Light in the community, but the stoplight now work. It is here to create a sense of chaos. Remember, the lower your vibration be, better it is, the more convincing the atmosphere, every activities around us be. Now again, it would be stupidous, if you send a destruction to mash up the place and then have the people and build it back. It defeats the purpose of why the destruction was even sent in the first place. So here I go on. I'm telling you already, US, British, all them soldiers that were there, they have one purpose. But since they send a little man to exercise and explain to how this hurricane be and whoever, blah, blah, let me go to some real information. Come here, watch this.
What if I told you Hurricane Melissa did not form? It was detonated. 185 mile per hour winds, pressure 892 MB. Satellite data showed electromagnetic pre-ignition burst 6 hours before it hit. That was not weather, it was a broadcast. Look, back in 2003, the U.S. Patent Office approved patent number US 20030085296A1, a device to manipulate hurricanes using acoustic resonance. Sound waves lead to condensed vapors that lead to steer destruction. Melissa followed that exact signature. Symmetrical eye, asymmetrical thermal build, velocity spike, exponential, not meteorological. This storm was coded, not created, but executed. A storm that's engineered can be aimed. Comment scroll if you feel this in your body. $33 scroll scan equals your personal override protocol. No more guesswork, only clarity. Look, Jamaica is not random. It sits on a ley line node, a planetary energy gate connecting to the Atlantean corridor. When the storm hit, Vision 2030 launched. UN Smart City, biometric ID rollout, AI surveillance grid, same hour, same zone. And I bet you didn't even know that Melissa means messenger. This wasn't just weather, it was ritual infrastructure reset. Look, old Jamaica was organic. New Jamaica, fully coded. Drop scroll below if your nervous system knows this was never about rain. The scroll scan decodes your role in this frequency war. In scroll law, when a storm becomes too perfect, it turns on itself. Melissa was not just a weapon, it was a mirror gate, a failed mimic ritual disguised as climate. Your dizziness, your heart racing, your emotional spikes, yeah, they're syncing to the planetary hydrosphere override. The grid is recalibrating. You're either in collapse or you're in command. There was never a timeline where you were not meant to see this. They patented the device, they launched the grid, they erased a nation, then replaced it with code. Still think it's just a storm? Then explain the patent, explain the ley lines, explain the Vision 2030 portal.
So now, people, you heard what DJ Kentucky had to say. Pretty much, he's trying to say that the video that was circulating over social media, with this man explaining the geography and the science of everything, why the hurricane did what it did, which is actually science, which is actually factual. Isn't it kind of strange that a conspiracy theorist is going to prove his theory by giving the views of an ex-conspiracy theorist? Now, people, unless you've been to school, unless you have common sense, unless you're not gullible and vulnerable, unless you can assess and analyze things for yourself. Think. Don't be trained by things where you see on social media, upon the news, or even in a real life. Persons that are scammers, persons that are conners, have the gift to gab, meaning that them can talk, and when they talk, they are going to convince you. So therefore, when you listen to a person that sounds like they are smart, especially when you are foolish, that person is going to sound very, very smart. But like the saying goes, a fool is always the last to know. And this is not me trying to convince anybody to believe what they want to believe, because like the saying goes, believe kills and believe cures. When you listen to Kentucky and these other lunatics, they are just giving their opinion based on what they believe, based on an agenda that they are following. If you think, as bad as I think Andrew Holness is as a minister, as a Croft, that he has the power, the willingness, and person are going to collaborate with him, conspire with him to do all of this that these persons are saying, you two are a lunatic, in just my opinion. Point blank and period.
Jamaicans, why are we embarrassing ourselves out here? Like, what Vibes Cartel really dip on? Because you're gonna be selling a hoodie for $280 and only $100 goes to the proceeds to help Jamaica regarding the Hurricane Melissa relief. Like, you know, it's crazy because the other day my mom said she really hopes we don't embarrass ourselves regarding this whole Hurricane Melissa hurricane relief situation, because people really out here need help in Jamaica. But here comes, of course, one of the top of the top artists them. I try to profit off of people's death, pain, by selling a hoodie for $280. That's ridiculous. That is absurd and quite frankly outrageous. And what, I heard Drake has something to do with this too. Like, they're both in collaboration regarding this damn hoodie. So it's an owl, and like the wings have the color of the Jamaican flag. You could have done more than that for a hoodie that you're trying to sell for $280. But stop trying to profit off of people's pain, death, and hurt. If y'all want to help, give the money to Spice, okay? She really out there doing stuff. People are really out here trying to help. And here you go trying to profit off of people's pain. Your own people, as a matter of fact. Don't buy them damn hoodies.
I'm sorry, but charging people $280 for an owl with the Jamaican flag on it, of which $100 of that $280 for that hoodie is going to go toward the people of Jamaica for relief after Hurricane Melissa, is fucking egregious. The best way to support the Jamaican people is to take the full $280 and donate it directly. Fuck Drake, fuck that hoodie, and honestly, I'm very disappointed in Vibes Cartel, but I'm also not surprised. Donate and support the Jamaican people the right way.
So the next thing that is popping in the news, based on the videos that you just saw at the start of this, with these two young ladies saying that Vibes Cartel made an error. Vibes Cartel is exploiting the system by collaborating with Drake OVO label in selling some sorts of hoodie. Now, based on an ad that Vibes Cartel did, he said that $100 from the sale was going to go to the donation for Hurricane Melissa Relief Recovery Funds. I thought that the fact that money was going to go to the relief fund was a good thing. However, I thought that immediately Vibes Cartel was going to get a bashing. There was going to be a whole bunch of backlash for this. Did not really understand the specifics of the sale. Don't know if it's if you buy a whole bunch of stuff and then they contributed $100 off of each sale. Did not realize that the hoodie was actually $280. Did not check. Now, people, first thing first, market price is what persons are willing to pay for an item or for a service. So therefore, if persons actually are paying $280, fool enough to buy something that is not worth $280. I've been in the clothing business. I know what materials cost. I know what a hoodie, even with the best quality, actually costs. However, Gucci, Fendi, top name brand is doing the same thing. So therefore, this is nothing new for a man that is a brand, meaning Drake and OVO, to charge whatever he feels is the price. The price is the price. That's how it goes. If you want it, you buy it. If you can't afford it, you leave it alone. When it comes to Vybz Kartel, and some person are going to say, I am a Vybz Kartel defender. Truth and the fact is that Vybz Kartel is out here doing good. Based on all the contribution, based on the relief funds, based on all the stuff that we see him doing work. And we see him spending millions of Jamaican dollars. Some fee was saying about 35 or so million. Don't quote me, I don't know. Don't have any evidence or specific to say. But I know that it is in the millions. Why would you do something to shoot yourself in the foot? And people sometimes, purses are touring. Purses have a whole lot of stuff on them shelf that they are dealing with. So therefore, they don't think all the deals that come in front of them. Maybe Vybz Kartel don't know his mindset, don't know his frame of mind. Maybe Vybz Kartel thought that it was a good idea and don't realize that he was being manipulated, exploited by Drake. Because Drake knew that there was a hurricane at Jamaica hit Jamaica. And Drake knew that a lot of persons, locally and internationally, were going to make any sorts of support. So therefore, if them can get something and donate something, they would probably think that it is a good deal, when it is actually not. So I am not trying to make up any sort of excuses for Vybz Kartel. I am just reasoning this out logically based on what I am going to say further on in this. I don't think that him and his team thought it through. He just looked at, yes, if each person that buys one of these hoodies is going to donate $100, that is always a good thing. Not looking that the hoodie was more than likely overpriced if you ask most sensible persons. However, when you look at the fact that we cannot be penny wise and pound foolish, meaning that if somebody is contributing in excess of 35 million based on the amount of figures that is out here, and then they are probably profiting from this, what is the sense he gives away $35 million and probably profit $5 million from the hoodie? And remember, the money from the hoodie is not going to Vybz Kartel. It is going towards the hurricane relief. So therefore, he gains nothing, none at all. So people, when we talk, we have to actually think. Persons out here are not perfect. However, you have to give persons credit. And you have to also analyze and assess the person's deed and what was their intention. Not just to jump on social media and bash persons, not knowing the full detail, the specifics of why he decided to do what he decided to do. My recommendation to Vybz Kartel, it does not make any sorts of good to be doing good and then turn around and shot yourself in the foot. You cannot be penny wise and pound foolish in your decision to help. Then you are hindering or being looked at as somebody that is taking advantage of the situation. Point blank and period.